You got to unmute, Brendan.
Thank you, buddy. Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. Partner Plus is all very excited. I just heard Eddie's voice. That was good. Eddie made it, so that means we all made it. Um, Congratulations, everyone. It's happy St. Patty's Day. I hope you got your green going. You're wishing your Irish friends the best tonight, and my little green in the background, but it's always there. So it's always St. Patty's Day in my house. But it's nice to have you all here tonight. We are excited. We have a jam-packed night. For those of you that are brand new that are joining us, we do this every Tuesday night at 9:30. It's an opportunity for us to go through every week on Monday and Tuesday, the Partners Plus. We go through there's new reports that you have in your back office, and it's very good. It's awesome because you can kind of see who's working the business. And so what we do is we put up on Monday, we kind of look at the month to see kind of who's moving and shaking, and we reach out to you. And today we reached out to two newbies, two new energy advisors that are just off to an incredible start with our company. So we figured, hey, let's bring them in tonight to get their perspective, to hear about their stories a little bit, why they like Think Energy, all the good things. What are they doing to have so much success? Because the whole goal here is to collaborate to help this network learn from each other. And what we're doing is we're educating folks, but sometimes education can be different the way we present it to the public, and we love getting different perspectives on people's businesses. And so if you pick up something that maybe you weren't using and you can implement something because you found out someone was using it and it was really working well, great. Then it was a victory for being here tonight, right? So kind of think of it that way. And we also want to recognize just all the things that are happening in this company, getting the latest and greatest of everything that you can take advantage of. So we don't want you to miss a week where you miss something. So that's why Tuesday night's great, because you have the whole week, rest of the week, to kind of go out and dominate the week. So let's kind of go through some of the uh, promotions and things that we have, so you're up to date, and then we'll bring in our guests. So Kirk, you ready to rock and roll, my friend? Let me switch over to my screen here. Hopefully this works. You guys can see it, right? Yeah. Here we are, the partners. We got Big John, we got Kirk Horan, we got Bella and Nick, we got Eddie, Jimmy, Tony. Tony's in the background today. So we'll be running through this myself. I'll get you up to speed on everything. But for those of you, every Tuesday night, 9:30, please put it on your calendar. Don't miss it because this is going to be incredible. But tomorrow, for those that are brand new or been around the block, we have a new app called BAM that we're starting to really train on the value of how to make this effective in the marketplace. And my brother Ed is probably one of the best BAM users in the country. And so he's working with Kelly tomorrow at 12.
Brendan,
Brendan,
somebody
you're
muted
just
you.
muted. Oh, yeah, this is great. Yeah, everyone just wants to sabotage me. Is that Larry? Once again,
No,
no.
Larry don't have access.
All
We
right,
can't
good.
have him
Make
have
sure
access.
Larry does not get access to this. But listen, tomorrow Eddie's going to be the lead trainer. He hooks up his actual phone, which is awesome. And actually, it's interactive. So you can go and do BAM. He'll tell you, hey, he'll say, hey, go here. You can go with him. But he really wants to show everyone how to use that tool, because it is very effective. There's a lot of things that this company's putting into BAM that's going to make you just more effective in the marketplace. So make sure to go to that. Now, listen, Back to the Future. This is our flagship promotion that we're doing long term, where it goes all the way through July. I do know that in April at our next Empower Hour, they're going to enhance this somehow. They're gonna do something with this promo that's gonna make it really exciting. So don't miss that. Put that on your calendar. But right now, anybody that's new that started after November 15th has a chance to earn $50,000 by building out team volume. And your team volume is based on growth credits. And in certain markets like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, wherever the autosave is, if you have smart thermostats available in your market and you connect them, they count as a growth credit. So one homeowner can be two growth credits. But once you have achieved a team of 500, and you can count your personal customers towards this volume, by the way, which is exciting. But you would earn a $5,000 for every 500 customers that join your team before July 15th. We've already gotten two people in the company that have achieved that first level, which is great. Brian and Amy from Pennsylvania. They achieved that first market, and they're very close. Some of them are close to getting to the second one, which is going to just trigger another $5,000. But obviously, everyone in this company has a chance to do this, and I wish you well. It's a great promotion. Now, you can parlay whatever you're doing for that promotion counts towards this as well. So from February 1st to all the way to the end of August, everyone in this company has a chance to earn a trip for two to the Grand Hyatt in the Bahamas. And that's also 500 trip credits, which is basically a customer. So an electric customer, community solar customer, any customer that we have and we bring into this company counts towards the tropical getaway. So remember, this is all for customer volume from February 1st all the way to August 31st. As soon as you achieve 500 team customers, you qualify for an all expense paid trip for two, which is really exciting. Now, in New Jersey, for those customers, this is only for New Jersey, but this promo was designed because in New Jersey, it's the only state where if you sign up someone on a teaser rate, like we had what we call the bridge to autosave. So we launched a 3 and 4 and 5 month product until autosave got our license. And so people that sign up for these 3 or 4 or 5 month deals with regular rates, they were under the impression that they could switch to autosave right away, where that wasn't the case. In New Jersey, once you come out of a fixed rate, the utilities automatically put you, or the suppliers automatically, if you don't say you want to continue with the company, they automatically put you back with the utility. So in this market, just this market, through the end of this month, if you have someone in that situation where they were on a fixed rate and they expired and went back to the utility, you can win them back. You can sign them up for autosave like they were a brand new customer. The company will pay you $20 to do that, which is exciting per customer. Now, tomorrow night, listen, if you're within, I don't know, 900 miles of this location, I would jump in your car and go. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not saying jump in your car from 900 miles, but if you're within at least 100 miles, 200 miles, this might be the best meeting that we've ever done. Why? Because the state of Maryland, for the first time ever on February 1st, has community solar where they consolidated the credit right on the electric bill. Everybody, Eddie, my brother Eddie, he's got his second bill where the credit's on his bill now. It's so clean and smooth. It is so amazing. And they're going to highlight that all night tomorrow night. But the most important thing is our CEO is coming. Michael Falquist will be there. So if you are literally new and you're from Maryland or Pennsylvania or New Jersey and you can get to this meeting and you can bring guests, this is it. This could launch your business to the stratosphere. Take advantage of this. We have Milton coming in from the Illinois area. I think he's driving in. We have top leaders. I know that Ernest is the host, but we have Julius Weems going to be there. We have just incredible leadership. And you have Michael Falquist to light it up. It's going to be the most amazing meeting ever. So please go out of your way to make your phone calls, your last minute, listen, on events like that, by the way, if you're working your phones and you're working your network in the Maryland area, you kind of have to say, hey, there's an exclusive event. I just happen to have two tickets left. It's sold out. I'd like to have you be my special guest. Kind of treat it that way, because I promise you, anyone that shows up tomorrow night and here's Michael Falquist's vision for Community Solar Maryland and the company with batteries, they're going to join your team. Your team will grow. And so take advantage of it. But right now, we have all these great promotions going on, and they have a total of $25,000 up for grabs. So far, by the way, we've already paid out $6,000 in our promotions, and we have already given away 13 or 14 tickets to our Power Up convention, which a value of $1,290. There's $18,000 left to give away. $18,000 left, and there's only a couple of weeks. So how does that work? Well, the first promotion is called Go for the Gold, where we have a leaderboard, and this goes back from February 15th to the end of March, and anyone that's in the top 20 will be awarded a cash award. And you can see the cash amounts here. You can see that $3,000 for first, $2,000 for second, $1,250 for third, and then it tails off to where at least everybody from 15 to 20 get $100. But it's $10,000 in total, which is exciting. And then I think at the end of the month, there'll be a raffle with this promotion. This is what we call Go for the Gold. And by the way, actually, Go for the Gold, I'm going to give you an update on where we stand, because everyone kind of comes to this meeting to see what the latest stats are. You will see if you have a lightning bolt next to the name, then you will, these are new people. These people were not in the top 20 last week. They are new movers into the top 20. So that just shows you that it doesn't take much. Just go out and get customers and you'll be surprised what starts to happen. But here we go. Let's see where we are. You can see if you see your name on here, look at Mordecai. He came all the way on the list for the first time. He won a couple weeks or by the couple days, by the way, and all of a sudden he's on the list. Look at this. This is amazing. This is incredible. Sasson A. Look at that. They were in like 10th place last week. Now they're up to, and then your top three, Karen D, Alex L, and Jordan. Now they've been holding that spot, those spots, all since February 15th. They've been holding the lead. But I will tell you that they're holding it by the skin of their teeth because there are people charging at them right now. So if you're Karen, Alex, and Jordan, you're on this call right now, you may want to start putting a lot of more meters in because your lead may not be there for too much longer. So, if your name is on this list, you're very close to getting in the top 20. And so please, if you see your name here and you're on this call, keep going because you might find yourself on the leaderboard and in some cash. Now, the second promotion we're doing is my favorite because this is something where if you sponsor someone brand new tomorrow, like at that meeting tomorrow night in Maryland, people, if they bring guests, they can sign up and then they can win the day. So every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we do a win the day where the person that enrolls the most customers. Now, any customer count is good. So electricity, autosave, or community solar, doesn't matter. They all count. But the one that has the most will win $300. Second place is $200 and $100. Okay. And at the end of the month, there's going to be a drawing for $1,000 that we'll award on the Empower Hour call. This promo goes through the end of the month. So just understand. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? So those are 4 separate win the days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday count as one day. So that means the total enrollments over the weekend. So if it's Friday and you put in 5 and that's all you did, and someone on Sunday put in 7, you would not win. So the key is to continue putting meters in all weekend to be the weekend winner. So that's how the promotion works. So listen, we've already handed out a lot of cash. These are some of the previous winners. Alex Jordan, you'll see Alex on here, Karen, Associate, Hindi, Energy Team, Michelle, Adina, Alex, Deborah. On the 9th, it was the weekend winners, Sasson, Alex, and Gary K. Alex again won it on the 10th, Sasson, Energy T. Lauren L won, Dwayne A, Joseph S, Hindi, Esther, Mordecai. These are incredible. Look at Mordecai. That's why Mordecai went from last place to the like 10th place on the leaderboard because he went out and educated a lot of consumers in his area. Alex Y, Isaac, Sasson, and then here's our latest one from yesterday. So happy St. Patrick's Day to these folks. Jordan N, congratulations, you came in 3rd place. Energy T came in 2nd place for yesterday, and in 1st place was David S. Exciting. And as you can see, every time you put a meter in any day, we do a drawing for a ticket to our Power Up. This has a $130 value, by the way, because that's our ticket. If you were to go register for the convention, it's $129, right? You can see already who's won it on our dailies, but who's the latest raffle winner? Raymond M. Does anybody know who Raymond M is? Give him a call, give him a holler. Or maybe he's on tonight. Congratulations, Raymond. And then most importantly, these are the activity that we're doing to support this network every day. You can see the only day that's not on here is Sunday, but look at what's happening. Last night, Kirk Horan did a customer gathering training. We do that every single Monday, and they'll announce the winner for the weekend on that customer gathering training. You have your business overviews where you're showing one of us Partner Pluses will be sharing the opportunity, the business overview. Every night you can see at 8 o'clock. Tonight, Mike K did it. It's 8. He does it on Tuesdays. I do Wednesdays. So if anyone likes my presentations, invite people. As Michael Falquist is lighting up Maryland, everyone else can go and invite guests to come tomorrow night to see a live presentation that I do, and I'll announce the winners tomorrow night as well. Thursday night as well, we have a 8 o'clock overview. And then Friday, Eddie always does a live Facebook Live to announce the winner for Thursday. And then Tony always does an incredible job every Saturday for his fast start training at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is just unbelievable live activity that's designed to grow your network and help you have tremendous success. So with that part of now we're all up to speed. Everyone knows what their marching orders are for this week, and take advantage of all the live activity that we are doing. Wow, look at that. So Deborah, this is my first chance meeting you. It's like you just came in and all of a sudden you're the only one that's on the screen. How is that? So that means someone's trying to unmute you, and I think Kirk Horan is going to join us as well. Kirk, do you know what you're doing, or are you kind of lost in the shuffle?
I'm trying to get the multi-screen here, multi-speaker. There you go. I think that's good, right?
Oh, there you are.
There you go.
Wow, this
All right.
pretty
Yes.
professional. Deborah just joined us, and so I know that you had a nice chat with Deborah today. It's nice to meet you, Deborah. My name is Brendan. It's very nice to meet you, and
Very nice.
I'm
Thank you.
hearing some incredible things from you. But I'll let kind of Kirk take over because I think he knows you a little bit more, and I'm excited to hear like who are you and what you're doing and all that good stuff. So I'll turn it over to Kirk. And Kirk, you can take our first guest, everybody. We want to welcome Deborah Lyles to our meeting. Deborah, I know that you are brand new because I did look up your stats. So welcome to the energy. We're very excited to have you as a new person. But I'll leave it to Kirk to kind of introduce you. Maybe you can share your story with Kirk, and looking forward to hearing about it.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Real quick, before I dive into interviewing Deborah, I want to recognize, a power team that also ranked up to regional director this past week, Mikey Gomez and Mandy Smith. I just want to give them a shout out, and they've been getting lots of recognition on some of our calls, so I just wanted to give one more shout out, and Linda Powell, who we had on here last week. So congratulations to them. That is an incredible feat in our company, and they're on their way. So, yes, good evening, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Myself, and I know I'm pretty much full-blooded Irishman, and I know the Kennys have a lot of Irish in their blood as well. So, very excited to. This has always been one of my favorite days, ironically, but I'm down here in Florida. Had some great friends stop in today unexpectedly, so that was a pleasant surprise. But yes, uh, you know, I want to say that as we go through this journey, sometimes you wonder if people are paying attention. And the whole point of this call is to recognize new people that are actually blazing a trail right out of the gate. So if you're brand new and you want to get on this call and let everybody hear your story, I encourage you to take action like Deborah has. Deborah has an incredible story. We spent I don't know, Deborah. I don't know if it was an hour, but it was definitely a good
An hour. It
conversation.
was.
Yeah, and what an incredible woman, Deborah Lyles. She started with the company on February 25th. So, and she's already hit the rank of regional energy advisor. She has over 60 plus team customers, and she is blazing a trail. Think about that in less than 30 days. How exciting is that? So, Deborah, let's start off with just giving everybody your background. I mean, you shared a lot of stuff with me, incredible. If you want to hit on the bullet points of your journey in life, I'd love for you to do that to start.
Okay. I totally appreciate it. Can everyone hear me?
Oh
Yep,
yeah.
loud and clear. Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Yes. First of all, I appreciated the text and the call. At first, I thought it was a mistake when I got it, actually, because I'm thinking, okay, how does he even know me, know my name, much less is texting me? But I called. Well, of course, I called back because I'm new and I'm thinking I better call back. Even if it's a mistake, I better hurry up and call back. So,
No
that's what I
mistake.
did.
Yep. Yeah, so you live in what is it? Chester, Maryland? Is that?
Chester,
Yeah.
Maryland. It's right across the Bay Bridge, actually, on
Yeah,
Eastern
so
Shore, Ken Island.
That's a pretty good place to be in this company right now. You're kind of in that little tri-state area where things are
It is.
really getting busy, so that's a good spot to be. I know you've had you have an incredible background. Let's start with that. Tell people, a little bit about you and what you've done and why you're excited about this opportunity.
Okay. Well, I would be remiss if I didn't first start off by even talking about my mom and dad, because they had the most incredible work ethic, bar none. My dad was in what they call a lifer for those who've been in the military. He stayed in probably far longer than most, made it a real career. And so I was a military brat. My mom back in the day before internet, before, phones, had to do whatever she could every time we moved, which was a lot. But they always had their main job plus another job and generally a side hustle. So I was that kid that grew up and my bedroom was never my bedroom. It was always filled with all sorts of stuff from liquor, cigarettes, health products, whatever it was that they were trying to sell. That was my bedroom. So, of course, you get used to that entrepreneurial part of your family. And that was the environment I grew up in. But it was wonderful because they never took no for an answer. They were always the trailblazers. Every time we moved, we were always the family that, either had the best yard, best, everything. They drove, kids to different games. I mean, again, how could you not succeed when all that pressure was on you? Because at the end of the day, we got up when my dad got up. He was in the military. If he got up at 4:30, guess what? All the kids got up too. So there were no excuses. We didn't know what an excuse was. There was no such thing as an excuse. So we never missed school. That was a starter. Of course, all the way through school, whatever they said, that was a go. We didn't negotiate. So we understood quickly that if you wanted to get ahead, even at a young age in our family, you had better understand the rules and try to do what you could to make sure that you didn't get on the other side. So those were life lessons for me. And I just share that to say, I think for most of us, we start early, in our development and
No
in
doubt.
our
Yeah.
growth. And
Yeah.
certainly that was mine. I did the traditional route of, going to college. That's what I thought was the route, of course. I went to Howard undergrad, and I was a pre-med student. And somewhere along the line, the market shift. And I have stories to tell about how we have to pivot when the market shift. So a lot of my friends had already gone on to med school. They were out, but they were also not making money because that's when the market went over to the PPOs as opposed to traditional medicine. So they were seeing tons of people not making a lot of money. So I wanted to be an entrepreneur, didn't make my parents happy. They didn't understand it. How could I not go into med school or some traditional corporate track, especially after spending all that money? But entrepreneurship has been my life since I left Howard. I don't know anything else. People ask me, well, what do you do? I always say unemployed. And by the time they stop running, I have to explain I'm unemployed until I make money because I'm self-employed. So, until I make that other sell, that other connection, then yes, I'm always unemployed. That's my mentality when I go out every day. But I've done more than a few things. And I can keep this, I'm going to keep the story short to like a 30-year-old because I'm more than that. So I could make it longer based on my age, but I'm going to condense it and
Yeah,
shorten
let's start with the construction part. I mean, that's incredible what I love your story. I love, when you took the bull by the horns and started doing your own thing. So I love
Yeah.
that part of the story.
Yeah, so part of my passion has always been in construction and design. My first business was actually in insurance. I owned an insurance agency. We trained um, I mean, gosh, we still have people in the DMV area that's still in business that came through our agency years ago. But through that insurance agency, you learn, how to build, how to develop, and and it was all commission, of course. So you learn how to live, right? How to, make those choices. From there, I had always wanted to go into construction, and my next business was actually a construction company, a woman-owned construction company. Even today, I'm a licensed general contractor. We did, all sorts of things, remodels, home builds. We built a veterans housing. I mean, we've done pretty much, you name it, contracts for the government. And then along came 2008-9, which many of you remember as the Great Recession when, savings and loans and all the money just went, downhill. We couldn't get loans, and that it was just a different place and time. So we pivoted. My sister at the time and her friends started a solar company, the first in DC, an EPC. We were an engineering company, vertically structured. So we did everything in-house from engineering to installation, monitoring, maintenance, you name it. And along
Sales,
with
don't
that,
forget that part.
what was that?
Sales, don't forget the sales part.
Especially the sales. Without that, there would be no company.
That's right.
So that was my part. So I did that, and if you were into titles, it was business development. For as long as I was there, and I enjoyed it because I love sales. That's a true passion of mine is to get numbers, to connect with people, make sure I'm helping them. And customer servicing, is a big part of it. And all the customers that we had, I personally gave them my phone number and always connected with them. If they had any problems, any questions, anything, I always told them, don't call the office, call me. Always, because I wanted to know what was wrong. I wanted to know what the nuances were, if there were issues, challenges. I wanted to be on the front line to be able to help with that. So that's what I've done, and I still do that. Now, along with going into solar, my next big pivot, and again, I'm making this short, was this year, because as you know, as part of the big bill, I'm not going to say big, beautiful bill because it impacted, us in our industry. The ability for people to purchase solar with the investment tax credit ended. So of course, that caused some shifting with us, and some of our investors pulled out of the marketplace. And that's when Stan Richards, who's my sponsor, had contacted me and said, well, Deborah, I have something for you. I need you to take a look at. And it's in the energy space. And now, first of all, Stan and I go back a little way. So we've been in different organizations, and we've had a few conversations over the years. And both of us had agreed never, ever to get into direct marketing, MLM, on another occasion because we had been burned a few times. I mean, we pretty much, divorced all of our family friends because we've drugged them into things, until they're cross-eyed. Now they don't even take our calls. They see us, they, no, Deborah, I don't even have a way to even start. No, just the answer is no. But
That's
when he
funny.
texted me
That's
and
how a
said,
lot of us have started, by the way. I mean, we've done different things and people don't want to talk to you, but that's the nature of our business and that's what makes it more fun, right?
and that's what makes it more fun. Exactly. So when he texted me and said, well, look, I have something for you to look at, again, I said yes. I had to say yes because I also have a philosophy in life, actually. If someone offers or even, suggests something to me, I feel like I owe it to them to at least have the conversation, to at least look at it. I don't
Mm,
care who it comes from because I know opportunities know no value. In other words, it doesn't come in a car, a certain car, certain dress, certain house. a lot of times it can come from someone you least expect. So, of
Love
course,
that.
I said, okay, Stan, I'll take a look. And that's what happened. So I came, we were in on the Zoom and they were talking about energy. At first, I thought Stan was pulling my leg because I'm like, what can you possibly show me that's energy that I can make money that's not connected to solar on the roof? He said, no, no, it's not solar on the roof, it's something else. And I said, well, I am going to take a look at it. And I'm so glad I did. So that's how I got here.
So tell me what, I mean, in looking at it, were you at a live presentation, correct? I think.
I was at a Zoom presentation.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
yes.
So what got you the most excited when you saw the presentation?
Okay, because I've actually been a person that's, played on sports teams and competed. I've always believed in systems, and I saw that there was a system, a track to work on, to run on. And look, after you get to be a certain age, you don't want to recreate, you don't want to rebuild a whole lot of things. You just want to plug and play, or at least I do. I just want to
I
I
love
just
it.
want to be able to come in and put my feet up and just do the work and hopefully I can benefit that opportunity. But I don't want to just, recreate everything. I've done that, been there so many times, and this had all the check marks, all the things I was looking for. It had a system, it had tremendous leadership that was already proven. The company had already, kind of gone through, their organization and getting started. So that was already established, which I love, and it was in a space that I was already familiar. So I didn't have to start all over again, learning something. I could just step in and basically took the skills that I had already been honing before and apply it in a different direction and also still help people the same way. So once
Love
I
it.
saw Milton, I saw Lynetta, I saw um, the immediate people on our team and what they've been able to do and their
Mhm.
leadership. Again, I was just awe-inspired. I said, again, it's hard not to at least try and see what can happen because so many other people were successful. And I felt if I can see other people being successful in numbers, then for all the things I've done in my life and didn't become successful, then yes, it was more than worth a try.
Well, I know Stanley was very excited to have you take a look, and when you said yes, I know he was extremely excited. And my last question for you, incredible story, incredible woman. Thank you for having the vision, but you're flying through, bringing in customers like crazy. What's the secret? What are you saying to people to bring them on as customers? What are the words you're using and that are most successful?
Yeah. So I think it's really not a secret, right? It's just you be you, as a person. And I
I love it.
think if you're constantly working on yourself, and I've worked on myself my whole life. I mean, I'm more critical of me than anyone else could ever be, except my father, who's now in heaven looking down. But I just feel that you have to be authentic with people and you have to really share with them, you know, even the why part of, why are you making the call to them? How can they benefit? All the question mark things. I think once people understand that you are sincere and you're transparent, because again, I'm never trying to be more than I am, so, and I try to meet people where they are. So if they are, someone that work and this isn't to be disparaging at all, but if they work in a minimum wage job, then I'm connecting that way. If it's someone
Yeah.
that lives, CEO, corporate CEO, or high government official, then same thing, I'm connecting with them that way. But I just want to show respect, to everyone that I meet and talk with. And really, it's about getting referrals. It's not even about the person that I'm talking to. Because if I've done a good job, then it's not that one person, it's the fact that I can leave with like 5 other people, or their family members, because we know people do not refer, especially people they don't know, to people that they're close to, like their family. And I always feel that I've done a great job if before I even ask for referrals. And I usually don't even ask. They tell me, they tell me, well, look, I have this person, that I want you to talk to.
Oh,
Here's my sister's name, here's my brother's. And that's really how I build my customer base. So it's not me asking, because if I have to ask or, kind of repeat myself a certain way, then I feel that I didn't do a good job or the job that I was intending to do.
powerful, powerful. Well,
Wow.
thank you for sharing that. I'm just excited to have you on the team, and I know that told me you're gonna definitely try to fill the car to meet the CEO tomorrow night. So I'm
Yes.
gonna turn it over to our other partners and see if they have anything to ask you. But
Yeah,
thank,
Kirk,
thank you.
Kirk, I want to jump in on this one, man. This woman is this woman is nothing less than amazing, right? I mean, I've been Deborah, first and foremost, it's John, Big John.
Yes.
I wanted to thank you for saying yes to Stan. But I want to ask you two questions if you don't mind, Deborah.
No, not at all.
Deborah, when Stan called you, okay,
Mhm.
was it more that Stan called you and the respect you have for Stan Richards more than the opportunity at first?
Yes, it was.
It was,
Because
right? It was.
it
It
was.
was. Yeah.
Hmm.
And that speaks volumes for not only who you are, but who Stan Richards is, right? And I
Hmm.
tell people, right, if you posture with
Hmm.
confidence and belief,
Hmm.
people are going to buy into you before we buy into this opportunity. And we know the opportunity is great, right? We
Hmm.
know it's something that nobody else has in the industry. So we know where it's going, but I wanted to, I wanted you to answer that question because I think it's very important when we contact people. It's not what we say, but it's how we say it. The
Yes.
way Stan said it to you, because Stan Richards don't buy into anything
Mm.
unless he believes, right?
Right.
That's why that gentleman's so successful.
Hmm.
So you know what, Deborah, you said something that I hope everybody on this Zoom caught because I caught it right away. And I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I grab things out of the air. You made the comment when you were younger, Deborah.
Hmm.
We didn't make excuses because we didn't know what excuses were.
Right.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit, Deborah, what you meant by that?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, again, we didn't. I didn't know what an excuse was. I mean, if my parents set certain standards and we were expected not to negotiate it. We were expected to do those things, get excellent grades, and here's just a small example. If there was an issue with a teacher or a subject, my mom and dad always took the opposing view, right?
Mm,
Not ours. It
mm,
was always the opposing view, to for us to really understand why that had happened, why we didn't get something that we had thought. They never gave us room to feel that we were, it was unjust or that the world was unjust or the situation was unjust or that person, was unjust. No, my parents always taught us it's up to us always, no matter what, it's up to you. If it's a difficult person, you learn how to deal with that difficulty. You don't just shrink or you don't turn your back or turn your side and become somebody different. You understand what it is to stand in that space and you learn how to communicate, and you learn how to then keep moving on. But you don't just, stop. You don't just change direction. You always keep going no matter what. And those are the lessons that we learned. And
Deborah, would it be safe to say that the reason for your success was that initial mindset that got into you from your parents
yes. Mm-hmm.
from the beginning? Does that lead you to everywhere you became successful, no matter what the obstacles were?
It does, absolutely. And now we were, my parents did okay. We weren't rich or anything, but I've always worked, myself, even from a kid. I mean, I was that kid that sold candy, that sold, flour, burpee seeds, to get extra money. I grew up, our first few years was in South Carolina. I remember at 8 years old, and this is going back now, but this is a story. I used to carry water in a peach orchard in South Carolina. I was the water girl. And I don't know if any of you have been in fields in the South, but back then we didn't have water bottles. We just had a pail. And I would go to the spring, get the water, and it had one dipper. And when I would come back and I would go through the peach orchard, everybody would drink from that one dipper. And I used to wonder, and I remember I was like about 8 years old, and I used to have a
Wow.
whole bunch of peach fuzz on top of the water from all the peaches, the fuzz coming down, and people would just drink and they didn't make no excuses. It was
Wow.
hot as heck, 102 degrees, and they would be out there picking peaches and just doing what they had to do to make a living. But those are the kind of people that I've seen, again, no excuses. They had to make a living. They had to do what they did. But
Deborah, I'm sorry to interrupt
no,
you,
go
hon.
ahead.
Deborah, I always have a message I deliver to people because I believe it in myself.
Hmm.
My message is there's two ways we can go. We can make excuses or be successful and make money. Do you believe that's what the holdback is for a lot of people, that many times our fear brings excuses into us that stops us from being successful?
It does. It does. And even though, I work with people and, I've taught people and, done all sorts of things when it comes to, trying to be a role model. But at the same time, internally, and I can speak frankly because I think we're all leaders on this call, excuses really have no excuse, right? I mean, at a certain point, and I would say at a certain age, I think as adults, you kind of have to draw a line in the sand and just say, no excuses, no more. I don't, no more. Because excuses gives people permission to not be successful. But when they do that, as you know, then they're on to the next thing and they fail again. So after time, how many times do you fail before you just say, okay, I'm not going back. I'm going to draw this line in the sand. I don't care if it kills me. I'm
Yeah.
going to make it work. So I
Well,
think it has to be that mentality,
well,
of go ahead.
Deborah, you are a shining light. You are a beacon of hope. And before I hand this over, because I'm like out of words, like listening to your confidence, your mindset. But do you mind if I give you a nickname? Would that be okay?
Yeah, of course. Yes,
All right.
that's fine.
How about Deborah? Whatever it takes, Lyles. How about that? Brendan,
That
over to you,
sounds good.
brother. Over to you,
Awesome, John.
Brendan.
Listen, obviously, this has been awesome. So thank you, Deborah. Listen, it's been a pleasure getting
Thank
to kind of
you.
hear your story. And this is going to be the first of many more stories we're going to hear together as we build this together. So I wish
Thank
I
you.
could meet you tomorrow night in person, but my brother Ed will meet you. I'm sure you'll talk to Ed
Yes, and I've
and all
talked
them.
to Ed.
You have
I
talked
was
to him. Yeah, I figured because
yeah,
Eddie's down in Maryland and he's there to help you. And
yes.
listen, you're just getting started. You've had a tremendous success so far. We just love the fact that you're having fun here and you're starting to see the bigger vision. A year from now, you'll have thousands of customers. Listen, you know now that Maryland's discount is incredible. There's everyone
Yes.
that you talk to should be on this discount. So it's really up to your team to go out and educate. That's how new and early this is. You're the first ones really to educate. You didn't even know about this, right? So think about
Right.
how many other people have no clue they can get this free 10%. So I am
Right.
so happy for you. I can't wait to
Thank
see
you.
your success.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on tonight on short notice.
Yeah,
Like I
thank
said,
you.
the goal here is to get to know our people that we normally wouldn't know, but we're going to always look to see. And when I was looking through the spreadsheet with Kirk this morning, I'm like, there's something about this one. Look at the success already, and I'm like, got to be something
Thank
a
you.
little bit more to that. So, congratulations on your success. And I know that
I
we have a
appreciate
guest
it.
that Kirk's about to bring up. So thank you. We'll see you
Thank
tomorrow.
you so
Hopefully
much.
you'll have a great night and look forward to hearing all the stories that come out of tomorrow night because you guys are going to definitely rock it tomorrow night.
Yes, it's gonna be fun for
Thank you,
Thank,
sure.
Deborah.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
No, thank you.
You
All
bet.
right, I get to bring up my next guest. This young man has got an incredible story. There he is. He's on the screen. There he is. All right, so both of our guests, ironically, are out of the great state of Maryland tonight. So
All right.
that should be a clue to everybody on here as well that we are blowing up the state in a good way, blowing up the state of Maryland with community solar. So it is very exciting. Listen, a good friend of mine who I've been working with for years in this industry. His name is Andy All. He's building a team out in Western Maryland, and he called me. He said, "Keep your eye on this guy." And I always wait to see what people are gonna do, and all of a sudden I'm getting text message, Devin Lee, Devin Lee, Devin Lee, and I reach out to him, and we have a conversation. I kind of get a little bit of his background, and he's got an incredible story as well. And him and his wife are entrepreneurs. They're running a business, and he's very familiar with the concept of our industry. I don't actually remember if I asked him if he's ever done anything himself besides what he's doing with his wife in the financial services. But Devin Lee, welcome on to the call.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, Cumberland, Maryland. He's from that area, and he too started in February and is already maybe where you. I didn't look at the date you started. I apologize, but he's already fast tracked to regional energy advisor in less than 30 days. So, Devin, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your background, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I think I actually signed up the last day of February because Andy Alt reached out to me and he's like, "Hey, I have a contest coming on for the month of March, and I want to see what you can do." So I accepted the challenge and took hit the ground running, and that was my that was my goal. And here I am. I've never been in this business. So yeah, I was born and raised in Maryland. I'm actually a law enforcement officer. I've been in law enforcement for about 10 years now. So I'm currently a school resource officer. So I sit at a school where two of my kids go. Um, I actually have four kids altogether between my wife and I. And I sit there from when the kids are in school, I'm there. I take them to school and I bring them home from school. So as I'm sitting there, Andy told me about this opportunity, and I said I can do this while I'm sitting at school. It's a no-brainer. The product itself, when he told me about it, I was like, I could easily sell this without a doubt, no problem at all. Um, so yeah, I'm extremely busy. My wife and I, like I said, we have four kids. Three of them are in sports right now. Three of them are on basketball teams, and her and I are running every other direction and whatnot. Um, on top of that, we are landlords. We have three rental properties here in our hometown. Um, we also had two Airbnbs at one point, one in Pittsburgh, one in Florida. We're flipping land on the side as well. And like you mentioned earlier, she's in financial services. So we dabble into a lot of things. And like I said, when Andy introduced me to this new opportunity, I was like, let's add another thing to my tool belt. Why not? Let's make some more money. But
Yeah, I love it.
yeah, I mean
Well,
that's
I know you're an athlete too, and you're heavily in the sports, and you're an active person, and you have a big network. And when you actually took a deep dive and saw what was going on here, what really got you excited about it, to really kind of go all in to an extent. I mean, you're moving quick. I mean, you say you never done this, and I think you've recruited at least 5 people. I think. So you're definitely on your way. You're a mover and a shaker.
yeah, so never done this before. My wife, she's in financial services. She left her full-time teaching job to become a financial advisor. And she's actually, it's basically network marketing, kind of like this system here. And I've kind of listened to her and how she's running her business, and I've helped her in the summer when I'm off in the summer. Um, so I kind of understand how the process works, and I know her business, they promote to go wide. Hire a few people under you that are like-minded like you so they can take off running. And that's kind of how I can see this vision here. I'm going to attempt to go wide, find a few people that want to hit the ground running and can easily promote this business here. So that's been my goal. And I come from, so I didn't mention I used to sell used cars. I was in the car dealership for about a year and kind of found that I love sales. So with my wife being into the financial services and just putting it all together, it's been, I don't want to say easy, but it's been enjoyable. And I can see the bigger picture because sales, you can make as much money as you want. And I've always said to myself, too much money ain't enough money. So I just, yeah, I want to go wide and hit the ground running, and I want to take my teammates with me. And I told Andy when I get him to making the big bucks, he better buy me a nice little dinner.
Well, I'll let Brendan, I know you got to meet Brendan. I put you on the phone with him, and we're definitely very excited to have you on the team. Brendan, I'm sure you got some things on your mind if you want to ask
Listen,
Devin some questions.
it's nice to finally meet you. I talked to you on the phone today, and it was a really pleasure to get to know you over the phone. And I have 4 kids too, so it's and and we talked earlier because I told you about my history with telecom, and you were in diapers when I was selling I was selling Nextel. But the funny story was he actually works for the Cumberland Police Department, and I actually sold all my units to this Cumberland Police Department way back. So. But then they don't even have Nextel anymore. They probably have Verizon and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But back in the day, they had our phone system. But I was very excited. Listen, I have 4 kids. I started this industry when I was in my late 30s. I had never done it, just like you. I'd never done anything like it before. But it was one thing that I was like, it caught me. I was like, wait a second, leveraged income. I was so curious on how you could make money off of an electric bill, but more curious to see how you can make significant income when you're not like I came from that world of traditional business where I had to invest into the business to make money. I did not get it. So, but this is something that's really important for you because your wife is already kind of in that industry doing the financial services. So you're starting to figure out that this is a good business model. I love the fact that you're in school with your kids and you can actually probably got half the school teachers as customers. I mean, that's easy, right? Because my wife she got me all my customers when I was in Maryland too, because she would always just say, "Hey, call my husband. He can save you money on an electric bill," right? And it was the easiest conversion. But you're going to start to introduce this to other people like you're doing now. And that's where the magic really starts. I didn't understand that until it started to duplicate. And it didn't duplicate for me right away. I mean, it was me just kind of doing what you're doing right now, just getting the word out, right? And then you'll see the wider you go. I love the fact that you're already saying wide, because in this plan, the more people you refer, the more money you make. There's no question about that. And it's not because of the fact that there's just more people. It's just you have more statistical chance of someone catching the vision of this company and doing what you're doing. That not everybody's going to do that. Out of your 10 people that you bring in, only maybe 2 people may catch that vision and do what you're doing. But those 2 people can create wealth beyond your wildest dreams, right?
Right.
So it's always worth always recruiting. It's always part of that pitch. So Devin, all I could say is your fast track is there because you got out, you understand the product. So now the fact that you understand the product and it's simple. So tell everyone, because you're brand new, you've never done anything like this before. And there's a lot of people that are on this call right now that may be brand new, just like you, but maybe just didn't have that quick success out of the gates, right? So, what is it that's how come you're able to get 30 customers just like that, like on the service? Like, what did you say to your customer? Like, how did you do it?
Well, I kind of learned this from not dealing, but working with my wife and with her financial services. They say tap into your warm market first. And that's kind of what I did. And we live in a small community, so we have a nice little friend group who supports us. We all support each other in what they do. And I reached out to them and just said, hey, listen, I have this product. I can help you save you at least 10% on your electric bill. And that's all I had to do. And I kept it short. And I've always said that less is more. So once I told them that I could help them save on their electric bill, because a few of them had already been complaining that it was higher than normal. So once I told them I could help them, their ears perked up and they're like, well, how? And then I just showed them that the product I have here to offer was simple. And I said, there's nothing to it. Nothing changes on your end other than a discount that's added to your bill. So I tapped into my warm market, and kind of like what Deborah said earlier about referrals, I didn't really have to ask them because they wanted to help. They wanted to help spread the word, and it kind of was just a snowball effect. And that's how they just popped up. So I guess just tap into your warm market and go from there.
Yeah. Listen, you're absolutely spot on. I always tell people it's like if you answer the objections right away, because I did this on the Sunday training this past week, it's like you already know the two things that someone's going to come at you. Hey, what happens when power goes out, right? You need to be able to listen, the best part about what we do is nothing changes, right? So that overcoming that objection that they already have in their mind is, if you get in front of it, then you actually can just convert. It's easy to convert, correct? Because you're basically just telling them nothing changes. That's the key. You're not going to something else. They're going to still pay that same exact bill. But you said something really important, because Maryland, and the reason why this state is going to become the hottest state in the country, is all the utilities now have bought their energy in the future. So in March, I think or June, sorry, everyone's utilities going up by like 30% in pricing. So if people are already complaining because of the last increase, it's going to get scary in Maryland, because Baltimore Gas and Electric, you're in a different utility, I think Potomac, but everybody's utilities are going way higher. So any kind of relief, if you just have any kind of relief, there people are going to be, like you said, all ears.
Yeah.
And so really for you, I kind of envision the simplicity of what you're doing. You can now teach someone else to do that. And that's really this business. When you sponsor someone new, just make sure that they get off to a really good start themselves, just like you. And that you always want to treat someone like that that's brand new. Get that first or second customer, because that's the magic of what we're doing. You come from a police background, which, you already have a line up, because people are going to trust the fact of what you do, right? One of our biggest producers we've ever had in my network marketing career was the chief of police of Fishkill, New York. And he actually, when he was negative, he was so negative, by the way, he didn't believe anything. And he would come to our meetings, and there would be hundreds of people in the room, and he would always be the guy that would question the thing at the end of the meeting and never be satisfied with the answer. But then he got his electric bill because his wife was an energy advisor, and she signed up her electric bill, and they saved like $80 in their first month, right? And she was so excited she brought her bill in. And after 3 times in a row where the chief of police was downing our opportunity in front of everybody in the room, he actually stopped the meeting and said, "Do you mind if I say something?" And he walked up to the front of the room and he said, "I'm here with my wife. I just got my first bill. Everything that these guys have been saying for the last month," and it was my brother Jimmy who put a lot of sweat and tears doing those meetings. And he goes, "Everything that guy's been saying for the last month and a half, he's absolutely true. Look at my bill. I saved $80. And from that point on, we put in 40,000 customers within a year from that one guy, because he believed. And so that's what's going to happen with you. You just got to, you have that ability to create that mass momentum in your area because of the respect you're going to have in your community. So congratulations, Devin. You are a rock star. I can't wait to start to watch you accelerate. It's people like you and your stories, like Deborah and you, that we want to hear about you guys. So if your team that you're building, all of a sudden someone joins your team and has success, guess what? We want to hear about them. We want to hear what they're doing. So it's a team effort. We're all doing this every Tuesday night for all
He's
of our.
got a mover and shaker already. That'll probably be on here within a few weeks. So and his business is already expanding up into the Pennsylvania market because you know the opposite end of the state is Deborah, but he's in like a little tri-state area there too. He's got Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Maryland, and you know, it just it's networking, and you know, I love that he said he had an Airbnb up in Pittsburgh too, because that's another great area of the state of
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. So I'm excited. He's young. He's got a lot of energy. He's busy. How ironic is it, Brendan, that you know it's the busy people that get things done. You know, it's always the busy people that say, "I'll try to fit it in." And I mean, we just had two on tonight, Deborah and Devin, and they're crushing it right out of the gate. They're making moves, and that's what this call is all about.
Listen, Devin, the only thing I'm just going to give you some advice. So like a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, they're going to start following you around with cameras. They're going to be taking pictures of you, putting you in magazines and all that stuff. So I didn't see that coming. When I first got started, like you, I was just like you. I was hustling to get some meters. I started sponsoring people. I started helping people because I love leveraged income. And 2 years later, they had a cameraman follow me to my vacation for a week, right? And with me and my kids. And I was like, what? Where? But they made a video, right? And they put me on in magazines and all this stuff. I didn't expect that. But when you just care about your team and you're working with your team, good things will just start to happen. But the greatest gift for me, Devin, and I think you and your wife are absolutely on this pathway, and it doesn't happen right away. It happened after my third year, is all of a sudden I got to that point where I was like, honey, um, you don't have to go into your work if you don't want to, because we are now making enough money where you can spend time. And she took that time and raised our kids. She was home. She took that gift and raised our kids, and our kids are fantastic kids because they were there, they were present. And so and we had more time to do things that we never would have done because we were working so hard in our day-to-day stuff. So this does have that opportunity to create time freedom, and that's ultimately what I wish upon for everybody on this call. But Devin, I see it in your future. So just don't get too discouraged if things don't go your way. You have an incredible team. Obviously Kirk Rand's the best in the business. Big John, you have an incredible team and support that's here to help you. And so just to everyone that's on this call, we're here to help you. So anyway, if you want to invite some people tomorrow night, I do the live presentation 8 o'clock, and you can invite them on from Pennsylvania or from all over the country. Utilize the tools that the company's doing to help you grow your business. But Devin, great to hear from you. And also, Deborah, awesome to hear from you. What a night, huh, Kirk?
Yeah, no, you know, it feels good when you see people popping up, new people that have the vision. And, you know, I'll just add this that, you know, new people are the lifeblood of the business, right? They're they're the ones that always keep you moving forward. And as long as you support them, they're going to continue to bring in new people. And, you know, I know Deborah's already uh, started building a team, and Devin has got a great team started. He's already got a powerhouse, in my opinion, that I can't wait to get on here. So, you know, it's fun to watch, you know.
Awesome. Well, listen, Bella, we got a couple of your teammates, your couple of your movers and shakers coming in next week, so we can't wait to see them. And we got some more people to interview, but we want to be conscious of everyone's time. It is a little bit late, 10:37. Thank you. We're in that run. Everyone will run it as hard as we can from here to the end of the month. Let's all have an incredible month together. Bella and John, thank you for joining tonight. You guys are amazing. Guys, thank you very much. We'll put the recording in for all of you to share with your people that couldn't make it tonight. And thanks again for joining the Partner Plus. And we look forward to seeing everyone next week with some new folks and new stories. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.